vaccines are a business,
Sure.
right? And it's a pretty sensitive topic.
Huge. That's why I wanted to cover it first podcast. Just rip it right in the hole.
So I'm not going to have all of the facts there, but essentially what is business, right? You want as much revenue as possible for the longest time possible captured, right? Which is why like when you do a subscription, that's awesome because as long as you forget about it, $20 is rolling in that company, they don't even have to think about you, right? Like you're just sitting there like paying them money,
Cash,
right?
yeah.
So those are the kind of levers in business. It's how can I increase the amount of money that I make? How many can I increase the frequency of getting that money? So how often can I get a transaction? And then like, what's the loyalty, right? Like what's the lifetime of it? So then if you go, okay, we're coming in with a business, how can I address the entire American market? How do I get every person in America to buy my shit, right? And then how do I get them to buy it often, right? And now I've just described a vaccine plan, right? Like,
Yeah. You got to keep up with your schedule and
keep checking in on it, right? And then you're having the government enforce it.
Yeah.
Right? That's like some mob shit. Like, our protection is the government who's telling you to fucking make sure you keep buying from me.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So purely from a business standpoint, that's freaking really lucrative.
Right.
Now, here's the part where when I listened to that podcast with Kennedy, he went in history and he described the fact that these vaccine companies do not have to be liable for any issues that come out of the vaccine. Right. And it's kind of hard to test for these things, right? Like, how do you even isolate it down? These are very expensive things. So who's the counterweight on that, right? To be even, to regulate it or whatever. And so what ends up happening is these guys get to spend their money in R&D. They have the government be the enforcers to make sure that every person in America is buying, right? It's a business.
Yeah.
And if anything bad happens, there's no liability.
Yeah.
That's the perfect business, right?
Yeah.
That's almost as easy as having like putting a straw on the ground and having money flow out into your pocket. It's basically the same thing, right? Once you've got that infrastructure in place. And so, when he was a billionaire at 20 something, the reason why Bill Gates even got into the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation was it was a PR move because he was seen as the shark who was a vicious businessman who was taking over everything. Like that was the whole move. That's why it came out. Because he needed to rebuild his
He had to balance it out. That's why he did it.
He was seen as like Elon Musk. Like he was like seen like that, right? Like, oh, this really famous guy, but like on the woke kind of side, they're like he's the worst person possible.
Yeah. So
he's taking over everything.
Yeah, with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Yeah. Okay. So I roll all of that back into this whole conversation around vaccines. It's like when you're talking about for us to open up a gym, and that's what our like market size is. Like, okay, you have a certain amount of opportunity by opening up a gym or physical therapy. But if you're trying to like make your $100 billion go into $1 trillion, like you need to find so much distribution, so much volume, and that you just end up moving into
the vaccine stuff,
you
or
move
something
into
that's a bit more easier and more expansive.
Scaled.
Scalable.
It's scaled, right? Like who is the best business partner you can possibly have? The fucking government to like make sure that
everyone takes what you need.
Everyone takes what you need. Like those are the people that have like unlimited generational money and never have to think about it. Like that's what billionaire means, right? They have like so much there. And so when you're at the level of billionaires, you have to go into very large markets. And then when you're at the top and you've been in the center stage for 60 years now, it's just all this shit comes up and pops up because like when you get big enough, you have to deal in these types of markets.
Yeah.
Like where's he gonna go? He's gonna start a froyo stand? Like, he's not doing that shit.
So do you think he did the math in his head? Like, all right, I gotta get into a good product. Let's just call that.
Yeah.
I need something that is scalable, cheap, and people need it and need to take it.
And margin, yeah.
And big
margins.
margins.
How do I deliver at a low cost so I can get as much as possible?
And then he came down, vaccines, that's actually a good way to do it.
Vaccine,
I bet that's what happened.
Right?